Hey everyone, Liz here. So you are being asked as the final culminating piece to this professional development on the science of reading. You are being asked to design or modify your own lesson and implement or embed the 5 building blocks of literacy into this lesson that you have either already taught once this year or you have coming up. And so I kind of wanted to just give a really quick example of maybe how that could look. I chose social studies, so my social studies people, please do not come after me because I am not history at all. So if I say something wrong, I'm really sorry. Just using you as the guinea pigs. So a lot of us are used to seeing documents like this. This is kind of like what a lesson plan should have looked like back in our youth. And thank God we work at Lake Norman Charter where we're treated as professionals and don't have to post these lengthy lesson plans. But, this is really what a lesson plan should have, right? What content standards are being taught, purpose, background knowledge, all of that. And the joys of teaching through COVID, we kind of naturally just sort of lent to finding lessons where students are, hey, read this, answer some questions. Read this, answer some questions. And that's a lot of, content specific, content heavy curriculum is a lot of just read this, answer these questions. And so hopefully you have found some value in parts 1 through 3 of this professional development. Hopefully you have kind of seen that this initiative that's being passed down from the state of North Carolina through this legislature of these literacy standards, hopefully when you were asked how you felt, many of you felt like those standards were actions that you're already doing naturally as an educator. And if there's an area for improvement, then great. We're in a career that requires constant reflection and improvement of our craft. And so that is the nature of education. That's exactly what hopefully good teachers are doing. So here's how you can kind of take a lesson that you either already have or already taught and make it even better. So I just kind of made a chart with these 5 building blocks and started just kind of jotting down what this lesson could look like, how it could change, and how it could include these 5 building blocks. And the first thing that I actually did was I copied this article and changed the format. This is just my background as the reading specialist, knowing how students read and take in information and how they can get overwhelmed with just the way in which things are set up. I kind of made it so that you could, all right, you are only reading, especially for the fluency piece, you are only reading the parts you see in red or in maroon. I kind of chunked it a little bit bigger, giving them more space to write. I'm a little old-fashioned and would probably actually print this, or at least for some of the students be able to print that document. So for the motivation piece, I just kind of said something along the lines of partners that the teacher, would have predetermined. So for this, you would want to predetermine partners, one stronger reader, one not as strong of a reader. So low-high grouping. So those partners will work together to find and watch 3 different sources, either articles, videos on YouTube, pictures, images that explain the Magna Carta. So this is kind of assuming that this is our first sort of introduction of this topic of the Magna Carta. So set a timer for 10 minutes, and basically students have to kind of go dig and find their information first. Once they think they have something strong, meaning you would kind of give a brief overview of reliable sources, accurate, meaning where they could find information and what that could look like, what you are looking for as the teacher. This is just a quick, like I said, warm-up activity. They're going to submit their artifact. So whether it's a picture, whether it's, and again, it should be explaining the Magna Carta, not just a bunch of examples of, and you, the teacher, might have to explain that. I was thinking videos, right? A quick video, 5 minutes or less. So they would then submit to a Google form that you've created and given to them either on Schoology, as a QR code, whatever. And they're just submitting that. You don't have to do anything else. This is just a warm-up. This is just getting them motivated to read this information. And if you, the teacher, then find something kind of interesting from that, by all means, use it in your lesson the next time. So that's a quick warm-up. Before you're even giving the students this copy, before they're even reading this, you are identifying some pre-teaching some vocabulary. Now, obviously, as a reading specialist, I love a good vocab notebook. This particular lesson has identified vocabulary words for you. They've actually pulled out specific words in bullets in these articles from the Magna Carta and defined them for you, which is awesome. If you print this out, cool. Let students highlight, annotate, but some of you are going to disagree and call me a little old-fashioned and we don't have enough paper and blah, 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 blah. Get a vocab section of a binder, loose leaf paper, whatever. A lot of ELA teachers are already doing that. I've already seen a lot of science teachers already doing that. Your argument is great that MAPs and EOGs are digital. I hear you. And I don't know, this could even be a cool thing to create across grade levels, but having just an academic vocabulary notebook, alphabetical, that they are collecting vocabulary words across all content, not just having different notebooks for different content area. But anyway, start small, copy words and definitions, even though they are written right there, because yes, again, just like we've read in some of our articles, as far as word study and vocabulary goes, vocabulary has to be right here. It's important to make vocabulary study a regular activity in your classroom. Kids don't really learn and remember words unless they see them many times in print, use them many times in their classroom discussions and written texts, and continue to see, hear, and use them. And I love what it is said farther down. Some of you might have read this. Further, researchers argue that the most common approach to teaching vocabulary, providing students with a word list on Monday, then quizzing them on Friday, doesn't work. According to Sperry, language is richer than vocabulary alone. Kids don't really learn and remember words unless they see them many times in print, use them many times in their classroom discussions and written texts, and continue to see them and use them subsequently. So I just kind of had this vocabulary and word study is also going to connect to like the exit ticket or the comprehension piece here as well. But back to this kind of in a vocab section or binder, rewriting these words found in the Magna Carta article. You could do a quick reference to the prefix un. This is for my social studies peeps too. Maybe even having like a flow chart on the board for the students to reference these content specific words. These would be like your tier 3 words so that they understood like the rankings, I guess, of like officials back then, right? Kings, archbishops, whatever. I'm butchering that. I get it. Also wanted to point out, like, word study being explicit teaching, this should just kind of happen naturally as a result of what you're seeing from your students. So that's where I said kind of a quick review of the prefix un in these two words. Again, if you're not a reading teacher, that's fine. You're still a educated teacher of children and can do just like a quick mini lesson or identifying the prefix here. This is a quick video of Mrs. Cook the other day where she just noticed, again, something happening, seeing her students writing something incorrectly, and 1 minute of explicit instruction to kind of captivate them and teach them the rules of grammar or the rules of writing. So take a look. So I just wanted to kind of include in there, it doesn't have to be lengthy and long. It should kind of just happen naturally as you're seeing words being used, seeing where students need help. On to the fluency part. So much so, again, we're just sort of saying to our students, read this, answer these questions. Read this, answer these questions. Well, instead of the questions being what is graded, why not let fluency be the thing that is graded? So you could, with those partners, ask them to record themselves reading, again, just the spot in blue, just the articles that are in blue. And if you're not sure how to have a student record themselves in a Schoology assignment, here is a quick reminder. Oh, it's going to give me ads. I'm so sorry. I thought I had it set up.
So previously when we were using spreadsheets, we were heavily meeting dependent. It took us hours to
Sorry about that. When you create the assignment in Schoology, your students are going to find the assignment.
When your assignment opens, tap Submissions. Then tap the plus button. You will see different choices. Tap Record Audio. If it asks to access the microphone, tap OK. To record, tap the red button, REC, to record.
So yeah, it's literally that easy to have students record themselves in Schoology, not recording themselves in a video and then trying to upload a video, like literally right there in Schoology. So in that actual assignment. I said then the teacher could randomly choose one submission to listen to in an effort to ensure that students take the recording part seriously. I would probably have both students recording at the same time so that they both have a submission, even if they are taking turns reading. And so then the comprehension piece, students are working in their partner groups to answer the questions for each article. Again, these questions are asking them to look at these articles of the Magna Carta and highlight some words. Who do you think wrote this? What's the purpose? So all really good comprehension type questions. I also said that the graded piece could come at the end when they're asked to follow the same procedure for the final article, Article 61, or here was the part where I said it kind of hooked back up to the vocab. As an exit ticket, they might have to write what they learned about the Magna Carta using at least 3 or 4 of those new vocabulary words. So obviously this particular lesson is going to take a day or two. There is some pre-teaching, some logistics, some things that have to happen. But this would be just a quick way to include some of these classroom strategies, some of these building blocks of literacy into a lesson that you already have. I was really trying to make this shorter than that was, so I hope this was helpful.